What's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are having a good one. It has been an incredible month of just learning, striving to be better, and obviously we're in Alicante. However, we took a quick trip to Marbella for a quick mastermind weekend with some of the guys out here in the sales space. And so aside from that, it's just been an incredible few days of just getting to know these people, and also just being in an incredible villa that we had the luxury to actually be able to stay in. And aside from that, I had a conversation with Warren, and we decided to set up a podcast together and kind of just go over the sales space, what it is, specifically what my path has been in regards to, say, the sales, but most importantly, the military, how I've been able to balance that. And really, anybody that is looking to get into this but has like a part-time job, this is definitely going to be the video for you to watch. But without further ado, hope you guys enjoy, and welcome to the SOP.
What is up, YouTube? Warren here again, and I said, hey, look, we're in Marbella, Spain. We have like 14 of us out here, and one of them is Matthew Mendoza. And I remember, 18 months ago? I turned around to Matthew. He was in Kuwait. We were having a call, and he was cold calling, and he said, dude, can I actually do this full time? And here we are in Marbella, Spain. And so I thought, why not get like a 15-minute clip? We'll talk about your story. We can talk about how you've gone through this journey and kind of understand a bit more about you, because you're a massive case study for ourselves. Well, welcome to the YouTube channel, man. Good to have you on.
Yes,
good to have you on.
Appreciate it. It's crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah.
Being from, all the way from the military side of things, because you're locked, you're naturally doing that job, but to be able to do this, it's a blessing, man.
Yes, exactly. Because we're out here this weekend for the AST/A Players Mastermind. They're hosting it tomorrow. We have a lot of guest speakers. Josh, David are speaking at it as well, and that's why we have Matthew. He's a maestro with the camera. Clearly, he's recording this with his camera today, so that's why the quality is a bit better today. Yeah. But let's take us back. Let's go from the start, because ultimately, I think Matthew has like a really unique story in the sense of going into the military, saying, hey, look, I actually don't want to do this. Not many people have that mindset of like, this isn't actually for me, and then actually making a change, right? What was that kind of like for you in terms of like realizing that and then actually taking action?
Well, it's crazy because it's exactly that, like the feeling of, oh, I hate this job, or oh, I hate this like lifestyle, and then they stay there.
Yeah.
They stay there, and next thing you know, you have a supervisor that's done it for 20 years, and they're looking at just canceling off the rest of their lives like that. Right? So it's kind of like a sad truth that a lot of military people go through, where they feel like they're trapped, because also the people around them are naturally the people that are at their job. They're in a different career field, but they're literally at the base, and it's kind of like you're in a bowl, and you don't understand what's around you. So
yeah, you're kind of locked into that circle of those are the only people that you hang around with.
Yep.
Those same people are you're also the only people that you hang around with. So it's kind of like a sphere of, I don't want to say limiting beliefs, but like there's nobody
100%.
There's nobody making more, or there's nobody doing more.
Yeah.
And trying to like escape that norm, right? Because I know throughout that process of you applying and looking to leave, everybody was like, "What are you doing?" Right? Everybody was looking at you like he was like an outcast. I remember him saying, it was like, Warren, everybody's going against me, and I feel like I'm objection handling everybody on why I should be leaving.
No, I feel like a sales like escape plan throughout the entire thing. Cause like, talking to like leadership, talking to the commander, all that. Literally, you'll have them take me to the office and go through an entire hour of having a conversation on, is this really what you want to do? Like, are you sure? And then, kid you not, one of the guys, he literally didn't talk for 10 minutes, and I'm sitting there and I'm like understanding he's trying to probe me, like in regards to like finding pain,
finding pain, what's going on.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's all quiet, I'm like, so are you done here? Like, you're not gonna stop me. So it's insane,
because it's your decision at the end of the day, right?
It is, man, it is. And that, at the end of the day, and that's what I preach on my page.
Okay.
I preach the fact of, look, if I can document this story for every other military person out there, and all the people that are at my base that see me doing this, right? They're slowly starting, like the people that I've sort of had to go away from,
introduced to,
slowly starting to think for themselves. And I'm starting to see my journey of taking that jump is impacting those people, because now there's people that are trying to actually do shit with it, like, outside of the military. So it's kind of inspirational in a way. Yeah. Just like you guys have AST, you guys have done the same exact thing, but It's just in the sense of the military side.
Yes. So my main aim is everybody who's in McDonald's who wants to get out. We can show y'all that you can do it. But is that like a vision of yours to kind of inspire as many veterans, people who are in the Corps already, people who are maybe thinking, hey, look, is there anything out there? Because there's so many gurus out there, right? There's a lot of gurus out there who say one thing and then perhaps do another, or they only make their money from it, like a course, etc., right? Yeah. And this is not a shameless plug on AST, right? But is that like an inspiration for yourself?
No, 100%. Because it's in the sense too where, like, you know, making that jump and doing that, and especially with AST and how you guys helped, it's wild. It is wild because you just get stuck in that. You get stuck in that mindset. You get stuck in that field, and that's part of the reason why I want to be that inspiration for other people to get out and at least see it. Like, you could still respect the military because at the end of the day, the military was the best thing that ever happened to me because I wouldn't be out here with you guys.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason, right?
I wouldn't have gotten the assignment to go out to the UK and stay in the UK and do it, right? So I know I kind of veered off a bit on the question, but in regards to that, it's just kind of like it's a wild path, but like I said, you just gotta fucking raw dog it.
You gotta raw dog it?
Yeah.
But that's why you don't have to be worried at the same time, right? Everybody has their own unique story, and that's why with these YouTube videos, it's more so showing you guys of, hey, look, everybody has their own unique story, but it all kind of revolves around the same thing in terms of they just didn't give up.
Yeah.
And if you know that entrepreneurs on average, they have to do 4 things or 4 businesses before they get successful, and on average it's like 10 to 11 years before they get successful or make any decent bit of money. So why are you worried about some shortfalls after like 12, 24 months? Because if you know, on average, I mean, obviously everybody wants to think they're above average, but like on average, we're looking at a decade in this, right? This is a game. Yeah. Not many people max out in the game after like... It
doesn't even feel like work.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like work. We're at Marbella, we're talking, we're having some YouTube videos being created, and what I think most people would relate to with yourself is... when you're going through that entire process, and I know because I've trained Matthew for the last like 6-12 months, there was a few instances where I was like, shit, I think I'm done. Yeah, 100%. But then there was also the pendulum of we're so back. Yeah. So can you walk me through the moments when you're like, shit, we're so done, and what you did to get out of that kind of rut as you're going through? Because I know Matthew is working early in the morning, getting up before me for sure, working, and then also closing deals in the evening. Like when shit hits the fan, like how did you actually get out of that?
Oh man, to give you context, last month was kind of like a shitty month. Like, it genuinely was bad, and it was throughout the time that I was obviously in the military. So to give you kind of the rundown, it was like 5, wake up, work out, go to the job, the military job, from like 7:30 to like 4:30, 5-ish, do that, then do sales from like 5 to 10-ish, and that whole thing, I guess there was a point with last month where I just generally were like fuck,
burnt out.
Like, I'm trying to figure it out, trying to make it happen. And then when I came here, and when I came to Alicante and I did that full time, I had the best month. And it all came down to obviously getting outside of the RAF Lake Mead, getting outside of the base, and doing that. To give you another context, like earlier what we talked about, I'm talking to somebody right now. He's based in Japan. He's a Marine out there. And he's in the early stages of what I'm at right now. But I'm like, you have to understand, it's you're gonna have those. And I told him that right from the job. I'm like, look, you're a Marine, you know how it is. If you can go through that, you can go through this, but you just have to know that it's going to happen. You're gonna have your bads, you're gonna have your goods. But yeah, no, it's been a great month.
Yeah,
solid month.
A solid month. How did you finish off the month? We're at the end of June right now.
So I should be. It's like 34,000 for the company sold. So in regards to 10%, that's 3,400.
3,400.
And I was literally last month I only made like 1,000. The month before that I made like 2,000. So it's constant growth, building up. But hypothetically, we had a conversation about it. I made 8K. Technically,
he made like 8K because we're talking about, remember, like 34 hours a day doing it part time, right, in the evenings after working. So 8K a month for Matthew this month, like, and that's where I like your specific story, because there's so many people out there like, okay, I have a job, I have a steady income. Do I do this part time and then try to do both at the same time, or do I just fully pivot? Now, in your case, obviously you can't fully pivot until November. November is that's when he's saying ciao ciao. But from your perspective, it's like going through that. Obviously, it's mentally challenging doing both at the same time. And I know Sam Ovens preaches about this all the time in terms of if you want to build a business, you should not have a 9 to 5. But What's your overall take on trying to make that transition and push in, and knowing that everything's kind of stacked against you in that regards in terms of already having the schedule?
Oh man, you have to be so fucking like disciplined,
Okay.
discipline, everything, because obviously your entire health, your entire mind, all that stuff needs to be on par. And so when you're doing that, you're under a lot of stress of literally getting off of that work just to go back to work and literally go to sleep right
Okay.
when you finish the sales job, right? So it's like in your mind you have to keep your body right.
Yeah.
So in the morning having to make sure everything's clean, make sure all that stuff. So you have to be so fine-tuned. That's what the military does.
Yeah.
The military teaches you that. So that's why I'm thankful for that. So obviously, in regards to Sam Mum's thing, we had a conversation about that. The predictive programming was the greatest thing that could have happened in the beginning.
What's predictive programming?
So to give you obviously like the rundown, because
Yeah.
we already had it. So it's basically, it could be obviously in the morning or afternoon, it really doesn't matter, but basically you're reciting some of the morals that you stand by, as well as what you're naturally going to be doing throughout the day. And you're writing it out from, okay, today I will XYZ, XYZ. Today is a success because XYZ, XYZ. And go into context, go into detail. Today is great, XYZ. I am grateful for today because of, and then do that. But yeah, no, when you guys initiated that, that helped so much in the beginning, because now I went to work. And in my mind, I was like, okay, like I'm locked in. I don't care what happens after that military job. Like I know I'm going to have a good day.
Yeah, exactly. Like, to give you guys context, about, I would say 8-9 months ago, Josh and I started like diving deep into the mind, the power of thinking ahead, the power of being grateful, the power of thinking in future tense, but saying it now. Because if you know that it's all going to happen, why would you be worried? The how is the fun part, right? How do you get there is fun. So if that's the natural mindset that you have. How do we get there? Every morning speaking so positively, because that will create positive images in your brain. Positive images in your brain create positive thoughts. Positive thoughts create positive emotions, and emotions dictate the way you see life, right, on a daily basis. It's the exact same if you hang around with other people who are negative, because what happens is you breathe into their negative thoughts. What do people love more than chatting shit and gossiping? And it really rubs off on you negatively, because here's an exercise for you. Think about an elephant with a pink bikini on a tricycle going down a hill. No matter how stupid you think that sounds, for a split moment, you thought about that. It's the exact same when somebody says, oh, imagine when X, Y, and Z terrible thing happens in our business. It goes through your mind. You see that happening. No matter if you tell yourself, oh, that's not going to happen, that negatively affects you and your business and the way you think. Because at the end of the day, most people with their businesses, it's mainly just them to begin with. So you're the business, you're the power of the business. Your mind is so powerful, because words create images, create thoughts, create emotions, and that's how you'll see life. And that's how we came across with the predictive programming.
People wonder why, other people end up blowing up so fast or growing so quick and stuff like that. And it's because their mindset was so fine-tuned throughout that time. They simply believe that they can get there at a faster time than normal people would think. So
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you guys brought it up too with AST. From the jump, when it was free, you guys were like, we're gonna make this the biggest, like sales training, group all in Europe.
It's already done.
And it's already done, right?
Already there.
So the growth from that all the way to there, it's just insane. Like I remember like the free, things that we had, and then from there seeing it transcend to so many people started coming, so many people started, naturally getting value from it.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to see, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's a good transition. This is why I like to have Matthew on, because Matthew's seen the entire transition, the build up. You've seen a business turn from literally nothing to something, and
from a vision to
reality. And it was never aimed to become a business, but I think when you do something so well and people like it, and then people are asking you to do it, that's when you know you have a good product.
Yeah.
When people are saying you should charge for this, that's when you know, okay, maybe I should start at this stage. But if you could give like 2 or 3 tips for the viewers in terms of, let's envision somebody's in the military, they're going through that 9-to-5 rat race right now, and they want to kind of transition, want to try something new. What would be the couple of things that you'd mention to them right now? Game plan, this is what you need to do this week. Not even mentioning Infinity. Not even mentioning Infinity. I'm talking about mindset. I'm talking about thought process. I'm talking about their day-to-day. How do they be intentional with their time?
Be intentional. All right. You said what? Oh, did it cut? Okay. I definitely would say A few main things. One being all of the distractions. So basically sit down and see, okay, what actual distractions are you going, like what do you have?
Yeah.
And you have to be very intentional with that, obviously. So you have to literally evaluate your group. Is the group completely throwing you off? Like, are they the ones that are telling you to go out on the weekend, right? And they are not doing anything themselves of value. All right, so remove that. If it's video games and shit like that, I literally had to throw my TV out and stuff like that. So like those type of distractions, remove the distractions first, right? And then you're gonna go through a phase of boringness because you're gonna be like, oh my god, like I'm bored, right? What's going on? Find one big goal. Find like one audaciously huge goal. Mine was the marathon. Work at that. Start working at something that's bigger, that's scary for you, right? Make that your entire lifestyle. Once you accomplish that, then you can start building on the rest of it. So whatever actual thing you wanted to do on your own life, you have that huge goal that you already accomplished. So in your mind, you're already believing like, okay, if I did that, I can do anything else. That's how it started. I started with the marathon, did the marathon, and then after that, I was like, oh my god, if I could do that, I could do something else. And that's when the thought, positive mindsets came in, and then I had opportunities come out of nowhere. Yeah. And then once you seize those opportunities, that's another thing. The second thing I would say is, don't be ignorant to opportunities. You might out of nowhere have something that comes straight up out of nowhere. And a lot of people are so ignorant to believe that it's actually an opportunity. You have to find that one. Find those opportunities.
Be ready for it.
Be ready for it, exactly.
Yeah.
And the last absolute thing is just take care of your mind. Take care of your mind at all times, right? Just no negative intentions, no negative emotions. And with the military, let's be honest, man, you guys know it, man. You guys go through so much shit. We all go through so much shit. And then we feel like nobody can actually hear us. Nobody can, But you need to be that person in your entire fucking squadron that is that change. So then you become that leader. So everybody's looking at you now like, oh my God, how did you get there? I want to do it. Because then the rest is just easy. The rest just is easy
then. Because I'm so glad you brought up being ready for an opportunity and switching your mind on it, because I remember having a call with Matthew in November and he said, why couldn't I think it was November, December.
Yeah, that's when
I vividly remember I was in Italy and Matthew had said, I don't know if I could close. I was like, well, why aren't you closing right now? Like, why aren't you doing that? You accept the lowest standard for yourself. So you might think that, I want to get to 10K, but that's your highest standard. What's your lowest? If you're okay with making 3K, that's fine. But you'll never make 10K consistently. Because if your lowest standard is 10, you'll only ever want to make 10, because if you're off track, you're like, what's going on? What's out there happening? And it's the same if you're okay with being a setter. That's fine. But if you're not, if you're a closer and you know you're a closer, why would you ever take a setter job? Why would you ever do that? The next day, somebody reached out to me when Matthew said openly, yes, I'm ready to be a closer. I'm looking for somebody in the US military or a veteran who wants to close part-time or full-time. And I was like, what are the odds? Now, you did the interview, it didn't go through, but we got another closing role. But that was the mindset switch. That was literally the next day, attracting, literally throwing it out to the universe. Yeah. So, but if I could leave one note, I think you want to say something more.
One more thing. For military personnel out there, treat your job like it's, actually work your job. Right? That's another thing. A lot of people don't want to actually work their job, or they're like, oh, screw the military, all this stuff while you're in. Treat it as best as you possibly can, right? Because there's a lot of people that end up getting screwed over, and you might have a 1 second chance, right, where maybe you want to go reserves, but if you were a dickhead the entire time while you're in the military, it's going to be very hard.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Work your ass off at your regular job, work your ass off at everything else, and then that's how it's going to... I just want to leave that one because it's huge. But yeah.
I want to put that one because ultimately, to stand out, you need to stand out. You need to do what nobody else is doing. And if you're okay with being in the same position come 12 months from now, that's fine. Please unsubscribe, because we only want people who are following and saying, hey, look, the thought of being in the exact same position come 12 months from now, that terrifies me. Brilliant. Keep that thought and carry that throughout the month. Carry that throughout the day. Don't even worry about a 5-year plan, because at the end of the day, shit changes every 6 months in business. 6 to 12 months. Why are we thinking 5 years? Think now. Think, get it done now. Do it now. So that's why we did this YouTube video. We're like, let's just do it now.
Yep.
Why would we wait? So if you haven't, where can the guys find you on Instagram, Twitter?
_ Matthew Mendoza. I kept it super simple. So on Instagram, and then you can find everything else there.
There we go. So appreciate you guys tuning in today. Hope that you got some value. Do give Matthew a follow on Instagram. If you see him there, he posts a lot of great sales content for people who want to come into entrepreneurship, people who want to start sales, people who are also in the Marines and perhaps want to think a bit differently as well. So glad to have you guys here, and we'll see you guys in the next one.